All right, hey everyone, Jeff here at Stop the Pirates, stopblogspot.com, September 21st, 2017. I don't know what's going on with my camera here, but I'm slowly losing functionality of it. But the topic of today's discussion, I guess, is going to be neo-feudalism. And neo-feudalism, it's not a rerun of feudalism. It's basically new and improved state corporate version of indentured servitude, and the process of developing from central political power to feudalism required the erosion of peasants' rights to own productive assets, which in an agrarian economy meant ownership of land. Nobody owns land anymore. Actually, nobody actually owns anything, including the house you believe that you paid for and you live in. Because if you don't pay the property taxes, actually the state owns your house, or the city, and they will foreclose on you if you fail to make your tax payment, your extortion payments. And when you start figuring all this stuff out, you're going to come to the conclusion, unfortunately, that we are chattel debt slaves living on a plantation. We're being farmed, and I'm not joking when I say that. We're actually treated like cattle. We're free-range cattle, but cattle just the same. And I don't even get into some of the horrendous stuff that goes on, but just on the surface. So anyway, ownership of land was replaced with various obligations to the local feudal lord or monastery. Free labor for time periods ranging from a few days to months would basically give you a share of the grain harvest from everyone, and so on. And that's true today, because we have what's called Tax Freedom Day, which I think now is around April 19th. So basically, if you have a W-2 job, or you have any job, and you're paying income taxes, you're working from January 1st to April 19th for free, for your taxes, for your extortion payments. All that goes to the criminals in Washington, D.C., in the District of Columbia. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, we have no representation there either, because believe me, the representatives go there on a 2-year hitch, and the first day they get into office, they're focusing on getting another 2 years, and they all become millionaires. And they don't do that by representing you, but that's not their purpose anyway. Their purpose there is to represent the trust account that was set up at your birth, and to make laws and statutes and codes to ultimately pay back the for the bankruptcy, the money that's owed to the central bankers. The other key dynamic of feudalism was the removal of the peasantry from the public sphere. And in the pre-feudal era, for example, the reign of Charlemagne, peasants could still attend public councils and make their voices heard, and there was a rough system of justice in which peasants could petition authorities for redress. Of course, peasants usually lost to the aristocracy and monasteries, but at least the avenue of redress was at least partially open. This presence in the public sphere was slammed shut in feudalism. So from the capitalist perspective, feudalism restricts serfs access to cash markets where they could sell their labor or harvest. The key feature of capitalism isn't just markets, it's unrestricted ownership of productive assets, which is land, tools, workshops, and the social capital of skills, networks, trading association, guilds, etc. Now our system of neo-feudalism, because the non-elites have no real voice in the public sphere, and ownership of productive capital is indirectly suppressed by the state corporate duopoly. Various studies have found that politicians ignore the bottom 99.5% who don't contribute to their campaigns or crony capitalist wealth. I mean, look at these politicians get. I mean, this is like payoff when they go around after their term in office is over and give speeches for $200,000 to $1 million. The vast majority of incumbents are reelected as they leverage their power to vacuum up enormous sums of campaign contributions that then buy the compliance of the cowed public. As for the ownership of assets, small business startups have been crushed by soaring costs, heavy regulations, and the dominance of cartels and quasi-monopolies enforced by the state. So now we're seeing that the super wealthy garner virtually all the income. The so-called middle class owns little to no productive capital.
What it owns is a house, basically, which is ultimately a form of consumption. And I say owns for two reasons. One, most households have a mortgage, which literally translated from its roots means death pledge. So their ownership is still contingent upon making monthly payments to a a lender. So they don't actually lend you anything. What they don't tell you is that you have a trust account, you have an unlimited amount of credit to draw from. As long as you're able to do that, and with the proper IRS filings and show what the money's being used for, and exactly how to keep the account basically at zero. You as a U.S. debt slave are allowed to keep a certain portion of your money, but if you start making more, they have what's called capital gains tax, which is they want it back. They don't want any of their debt slaves getting too uppity. But I think you can, if you belong to the the pedophile satanic elite clubs, that they'll let you get away with a little bit more, and then you become kind of above the law. Yeah, so a mortgage, and then contingent on making your monthly payments to a so-called lender, and two, the government collects property taxes on the house regardless of the owner's income, your income or ability to pay. So it's a fucked up situation. But there are remedies and things that we can do, and I think it's important to get the word out to everyone about the system. And they don't teach you in school how the system really works, about fractional reserve banking and registration with the state, and ownership, and your birth certificate, and your name in all capital letters, and these things that we all need to know. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want. I'll be doing more videos soon. And go to Stop the Pirates, stopblogspot.com, and check out my blog. Thank you very much.